play a good game, boy. But the game is finished. Now you die.
I've been playing Dead by Daylight for several years now, and I enjoy it. Mostly. And he was camping then as well. You call yourself a nat? You got no honour. You're a disgrace. DBD is a survival game with horror elements that sees a team of 4 survivors face off against a singular killer. All of these players are played by real people over the internet. It's a great game to play with friends as you get to play as part of a team to survive, or you can be the killer where you get to stalk people and murder them without being arrested. You can even play with random players too, and this is how I've met many of my online pals. What keeps the game interesting is its constant updates with new aesthetics, which include characters you can play as and maps you can run around on. Every few months the game will introduce a character they've created or ones that they've licensed from an existing property. With the game being horror themed, there's naturally a leaning towards that genre of characters. The likes of Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Saw, Scream and Hellraiser have all been staples of the game, but there's also been some more horror adjacent choices from outside of movies too. Stranger Things, Dungeons and Dragons, Resident Evil, even Nicolas Cage. I'm not joking here, it's Nicolas Cage playing himself. If that's not horror themed, then I don't know what is. But for me, there is one glaring omission from the game. It's a bona fide indie horror classic that all fans of the genre will know. Something that contains one of the most disturbing villains, something that, with its themes of chasing, iconic one-liners and big balls, is perfect for a game such as DBD. Phantasm. In this video, I'm going to outline why this horror classic should be included in Dead by Daylight and how it would make the game much more enjoyable. Trust me, it'll make fans of Michael Myers shit themselves with real fear.
Phantasm. Is it a nightmare? Phantasm. Is it an illusion? Phantasm. Is it an evil?
Released in 1979, Phantasm sees a teenage boy, Michael, investigate the malevolent goings-on at a local mortuary, which is seemingly operated by a very tall, scary man. It turns out that this tall man is stealing the bodies and turning them into his servants in his attempt to take over the world, and Michael is trying to persuade his older brother Jody and their family friend Reggie of the plot, but the tall man finds out and tries to eliminate Michael and everyone else with his deadly flying spheres. Spawning 4 sequels over the next 35 years and starring largely the same cast, the franchise is the brainchild of Don Coscarelli, and apparently he based the story on a dream he had as a child where he was being chased down a long corridor by a flying sphere, which he was scared would catch up to him and drill his brain out. Something that sounds eerie familiar. Isn't that right, fans of Dead by Daylight? Probably due to all but one of the movies being produced outside of a studio, the series has not really gone mainstream, although I have fond memories of the films being aired late now on the BBC in England, so that's as mainstream as you can get, really. So while horror fans certainly know and love Phantasm, it doesn't have the same name recognition as other franchises of the era, such as Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, which actually I think may be a big plus when it comes to its inclusion in DBD. I feel that DBD is at its best when it embraces its horror elements, scaring players into making rash choices, and Phantasm would definitely elevate this to new levels. So Dan, you posh voiced Englishman, why do you think Phantasm should be in Dead by Daylight, I hear you say? Well, firstly, the tall man. Just look at him. He's the perfect killer. Played brilliantly by the late Angus Scrimm, the menace he evokes just bounds off the screen. The character doesn't say a lot of words, but when he does, they are unforgettable. This is a result of great writing and Scrimm's terrifying delivery coming together. I mean, just watch these clips and tell me that they aren't ideal catchphrases for Dead by Daylight.
I've been waiting for you. Boy! You think that when you die, you go to heaven. You come to us. Again. And goodbye.
We're gonna wake up. It's a dream.
It's only a dream.
No, it's not.
Secondly, the mechanics of the worlds of Phantasm and Dead by Daylight are perfect for each other. One of the main hallmarks of Phantasm is people being chased by flying metal spheres, something that is ideal for a chasing game such as DBD. But the Tall Man has more abilities that could be used for perks, but what would a Tall Man killer be like in the game? So while searching for supporting evidence of people with good taste, I found this example from Reddit user VK2305. Shout out to you, my guy, and I'm sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong. And because I'm not as talented as this person, it's got nothing to do with me being lazy, let's check out their proof of concept for a Tall Man killer right here. So this is VK's interpretation of what a Tall Man killer in Dead by Daylight would be like. As you can see, he's called the Mortician. Very creepy. Look at that. That art actually looks really good. It looks like it's actually from the game. So, his main power is the Sentinel Sphere, and it sounds great. It sounds like the perfect power for those killers amongst us who are extremely lazy. You don't have to chase after the killer yourself. You can send one of your spheres after them, and it'll bring them down, and you can retrieve it at your own leisure. So, with this power, they have an increased movement speed and they can attack survivors but can't damage generators or pick up survivors. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think I would add in the option to where you can also damage a generator as well. I think that would be cool to do. So they have a movement speed of 180%. They will constantly glide forward. They cannot move sideways or backwards. Changing directions must be done by turning. They will be stunned for 3 seconds upon hitting a wall or an object. They can instantly break pallets, which will result in a 3-second cooldown. And they will damage a survivor upon impact, which is a 5-second cooldown. That sounds really good, actually. I would definitely add in the aspects where you can damage a generator as well. And the quote from the movie as well. Nice touch there. So the perks. Lord of the Dead, which I think is the 3rd movie. If it's not, I will edit in a correction here. No correction, so there you go, I was right. So this is obviously a teachable perk. The living aren't the only ones they should be afraid of. When a survivor is sacrificed or killed, the spot where they died will have a terror radius of 15, 20 or 24 metres. And again, another great quote from the movie that I'm not going to quote because I will just spoil it with my ridiculous accent. Anyway, this is Soul Ravager. You are determined to kill everyone as fast as possible. After somebody is unhooked from a hook, the next time someone is hooked on that same hook, the entity will progress 15% faster. This applies to the first 3 used hooks, the first 5 used hooks, or all used hooks. I don't think I ever said the word hooks so many times in such a short space of time before. That was ridiculous. Oh dear. So the last one is Paranoia. Really, yeah. Paranoia. So your abilities confuse the survivors, making them unsure of what is reality and what isn't. Every 15, 10 to 15 or 5 to 15 seconds a survivor is working on a generator, they will get a fake skill check sound, meaning an actual skill check won't show up. That actually sounds really good. Really good perk to have. So every 60, 45 to 60, 30 to 60 seconds in the trial, survivors will get a false notification of a random generator getting done. It grants no actual progression on any generators, and the generator status will show 1 generator less remaining. After 5 seconds, the real generator amount is showed. Fake skill checks are not affected by the Untruth's lullaby. So there you go. So I think out of all of those, Soul Ravager is probably my favourite, but I think they're all really good. I think a lot of thought has gone into this, and Behaviour should be employing VK to create the killers. Even if they don't make a tall man killer, this person has obviously got a real good knowledge of the game, so employ VK as well. Thank you, Behaviour. Cheers. Thirdly, Phantasm should be relatively easy to obtain a licence for. It is owned by one man, not a studio with numerous people to go through, and crucially, he's game for a game. Just recently, Big Don, I hope he doesn't mind me calling him that, was asked by a fan on Twitter for what must be the umpteenth time about Phantasm appearing in DBD. Big Don replied and even tagged Behaviour Interactive, telling them his DMs are open. Behaviour, slide into those DMs right now. Do it, Behaviour. Do it like Big Don is a OF mogul or something. Be creepy, Behaviour. Big Don will love it. Do it now. The series in film is done. I'm not sure if Big Don wants it to be remade or not, but I hope not, to be honest. So video games are a good way to breathe new life into the franchise while still respecting the movies and the people who made them great. And as mentioned already, being owned by one man will surely mean that any licensing discussions will be somewhat easier than when dealing with a studio. I'm not the only YouTuber to suggest this crossover. I found a video by Paulie here who was, shall we say, a bit more lukewarm to the idea. By his own admission, he's only seen the first movie, so I feel that this is the kind of DBD fan that needs to be won over. It brings up the point that Phantasm isn't popular enough for the game and that Behaviour have previously said that they aren't keen on spending money on niche licenses. A good point, you might think, that Behaviour should be having characters in the game that have huge fan bases already, not some oddball horror movie that only boomers, Gen X's and weird and some older millennials like Dansplaining know. But if that was the case, that they only want to direct resources onto sure bets, then why do they persist in creating their own characters? Surely they have enough of them by now. Wouldn't that money not be better saved to get even more popular licenses to attract even more people to the game? So clearly, Behaviour have got a remit within their budgets to be creative and not just going for the biggest brands in horror just to sell games, and Phantasm fits nicely between the two. Ultimately, I feel fans of Dead by Daylight just want new and interesting characters and concept. They want something fresh, something fun, something scary, something thrilling, and this is what I believe a Phantasm license would be. It's a known property but not perhaps known well enough by the younger players or even by older players not into horror. It balances that fine line between having a history and yet a wide scope to grow amongst new audiences, giving them something they haven't seen before. It's worth repeating once more that Phantasm is owned by Big Don and Big Don only, so any discussion about the licence will be done with him and not numerous go-betweens. It will not have to go through approval through numerous executives and presented to an estate. Time is money, and although I would love for Big Don to get as many books as possible, I think it's fair to assume that a Phantasm licence will not be as expensive as others, simply because it won't take as much time and effort to agree on a deal. The result can only be that Behaviour Interactive get one of the scariest characters in horror, Big Don gets his magnum opus seen by new sets of eyeballs and gets some cash to boot, and Dansplaining gets to, well, get murdered by the tall man, fulfilling a lifelong nightmare. Everyone's a winner. So I hope somebody at Behaviour Interactive eventually gets in touch with Big Don. They would be missing out on one of horror's most enduring yet untapped characters, and for a game that was inspired by the thrills of the horror genre, I think it would be a great shame if they let this one pass. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like and subscribe. I'll definitely be doing a Phantasm retrospective in the future and maybe some more DBD content as well.